Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where we are in Garlemald still. Last time, or last few times, we went to look for survivors, found some, and then a pair of them got killed because they distrusted us and our magics and rather tried to run away and face the wild beasts than talking to us or something. And after giving a report, we caught a thief who introduced himself as a member of a Garlean army, and he invited a small group of us, namely Alice, Alphino, and me, to talk to their commander to speak for us, and well, you will be received as invited guests, and I urge you to observe proper social etiquette and conduct yourselves accordingly. Your safe return takes precedence above all else, remember this. Thancred in particular will be worried sick if you're gone too long. May the Fury watch over you and keep you. Good, so Thancred will watch us from the shadows. Are you and the children ready? I will explain the route once we're outside your camp. If anyone attempts to follow us, we will judge it as an act of hostility. We will not hesitate to take appropriate measures. We would expect nothing less. You have our full cooperation. We will do only as instructed. After all, this is what we've been striving for ever since we arrived. Where do you think the headquarters are? I assume there are a few others besides him and the commander he's mentioned. Alright, this is far enough. Listen carefully. We head over that hill, then follow the road until we reach Liminal Station 4. Children the lead, I want you where I can see you. We do have names, you know. I'm Alice and he's Alphino. And last but not least, there's Desiree. Desiree. Never heard that before. No matter, Alphino and Alice will watch the road ahead, while we will bring up the rear. I wasn't lying about there being many dangers, so you're to run. Not saunter, run towards the station. If you ever think about going for your weapon, the deal's off. Should any creatures bar the way, we go around them. Once you choose to depart, Jullus will accompany you. Alphino and Alice will then begin moving towards the destination. Make your way to Liminal Station 4 without falling behind. If you leave Jullus behind for any reason or lose sight of Alphino and Alice, you may try again by returning here. Ready to make a dash for the station? Alright. Over that hill, right? This must be the road he mentioned. We follow this, it should lead to the station. Not the easiest surface to run on. But at least it's more pleasant than the walk through Charlie with Alice. We'd better not draw attention. That's the station, I presume. Alright. We're here, I think. It's nothing like the one on Fanalan. This is it. The first stop, that is. Good. Looks like our friends knew better than to follow us. Are these your headquarters? No, we're stopping here so I can check for pursuers. So it appears you've kept your side of the bargain. We can carry on. North of the station is Regio Domorum, one of the main residential areas. Or at least it was. The afflicted roam the streets in packs. They'll tear us to shreds if given the chance. Keep close. No wandering off, understood? Jullus knows only too well that danger lurks around every corner. From here, we'll be heading northeast, keeping to the left of a railway. While the route itself is straightforward, getting past the hordes unseen is anything but. Keep your weapons at the ready. They would attack our own countrymen? Aye, they spare their own but slaughter the rest without hesitation. Though we'll try to avoid detection, the chances of sneaking by completely unnoticed are slim at best. I will lead the way, but in the event we are seen, you're to fight them off. Those two will follow us, provided they can refrain from drawing their weapons. While I doubt they've been foolish enough to stab their guide in the back, I will not take that chance. With that said, let us proceed. Good. Ah, okay. Ow. We must say a lot. God damn it, we're perfectly capable of holding our own. I see why your comrades chose you. Jullus, our contingent has a cure for the afflicted, or tempered, as we call them. Your people wouldn't need to be taken into custody if we may administer the treatment, but they would eventually regain their sanity. Is that so? For all I know, your treatment would simply force them to forsake one master for another. As far as I and my legion are concerned, they are no longer our people. They're beyond saving. Those who fought differently and tried to reason with them were butchered for their bleeding hearts. Come, we have to keep moving. I mean, that was the attitude we had previously before we found the cure, right? Or at least the majority of the people. I hate to watch you bear this burden alone. Huh. Looks like we're not being followed. We will continue onward. 2 more. He truly believes there's nothing that can be done for them. No wonder he isn't afraid to get his hands dirty. The surest way to limit casualties is to reach our destination without drawing attention to ourselves. Perhaps afterwards we can try again to convince Jullus that the temper can be saved. I meant what I said. These people deserve only death. I stayed my hand before only out of a desire to remain undiscovered, and that is still the higher priority. We should continue to avoid any unnecessary confrontations. Keep following the railway. To think they were once ordinary people. Such a transformation is likely irreversible. Look at what they've become. Would you still stand there and claim they can be cured? Those exposed to a vast quantity of a primate's ether may suffer severe corruption, even with treatment. Such victims are beyond salvation. When you admit it, now that you have seen these monstrosities for yourselves, perhaps you will think twice before speaking of a cure. I see an F right on the map. But there's only a mountain. Though I wish there was another way, I thank you for keeping us from harm. Even here in the outskirts, it's plain to see how vastly different Garlemald is compared to other cities. We're almost there. You've kept your side of the agreement, so I'll keep mine this way. Speak to Jullus yet again. This is Tertium, one of Garlemald's largest stations. It now serves as our headquarters. I've already sent the twins ahead. I will be with you soon, so wait for me at the bottom of the stairs. I had no idea they had such expensive structures built underground. It's plain to see why they chose this as their base of operations. They could have done a lot worse. Even so, I imagine it's not the easiest place to live. Indeed, and if Jullus was willing to make the perilous journey to Camp Broken Glass in search of food, their own supplies must be all but exhausted. They may be shielded from the wind and snow, but it's still bitterly cold. Much like Victor's spoils, it must be a constant struggle to keep their people warm. Lower your voices. While you may be here as my guests, the others will not take kindly to your presence. My commander's in the locomotive, over there. Look, a lookout point. He certainly looks the part. Now comes the true test. The imposing commander.
These are their chosen representatives.
Very well. Let us hear what they have to say.
Yes, sir. I present to you our commander, Lord Quintus Vankina, Legatus of the First Legion.
The first? I had no idea you had survived.
We lost our emperor, our city, more than half our troops. For my wounds, I may never take the field again. But we survived, aye. In a manner much to your liking, I dare say.
We have no intention of adding to your misfortunes, nor do we bear you any ill will.
Spare me. Though you children may speak in earnest, overtures of peace ever ring hollow in my ears. So long as man stands to profit from his neighbor's suffering, war is inevitable. Driven from our ancestral homeland into this blasted waste. Yet still you yearned to rob us of our paltry scraps. 'Twas only with Magitech that you learned to keep your distance. Though we knew it was only a matter of time before you regrouped and returned. Conquest and Empire were our only defenses. Emperors Solus and Varys understood this, and through their campaigns saw us grow and prosper. Much blood has been spilled in Garlemald's name, aye. But if it is a choice between yours and mine, then it is hardly a choice at all.
I do not deny that a great many conflicts throughout history were driven by the desire or necessity to gain by another's loss. That is not why we are here. Nor have we come to petition your aid in the war with the Telophoroi, grave though that threat may be. Our purpose is simply this. We wish to help you. Let us help you. If there is aught that can be done to ease your plight, we would be glad to do it.
Perhaps you would. But regardless of the ideals you espouse, your leaders would not send an army into Garlemald if they did not stand to benefit.
I mean, we know the Telophoi are here. We need a foothold to attack them. And helping you is convenient for us, to put it really bluntly. It may be a nice gesture not to take over, but I think trying to take over would be, honestly, more effort than this land is worth.
If we accept their aid, they will expect their efforts to be rewarded once the Telophoroi are no longer a threat. And after compensation and concessions, the great empire would be brought to heel. Her enemies rejoice at her downfall. Our third eye, a mark of shame.
We won't stand idly by and let your people be humiliated. And we're not alone in that. We only want to make a difference, to make this world of ours better. Surely you can understand that. What I'm trying to say is, there are so many people who just don't care about making you suffer. And maybe that's almost insulting after all the suffering you feel the world has subjected your people to, but believe it or not, that's the truth. And now we're here, and all we're asking is for you to tell us what you want, what you hope for.
So much blood has been shed, so much lost. All because of this endless war. Who wouldn't want to end it? Can we not work together to face our problems as one?
Answer me this, young peacemakers. If a world without conflict is your desire, why reject the unity and prosperity of Garlemald? Is it because we do not share your faith?
No. Because the unity and prosperity of Garlemald was never existence for those subjugated by them. That was always a realm of oppression.
That we do not share your heritage? That our ideals and virtues differ? That we cherish and hold in the highest that which you do not? Disparity is the root of discord, and peace built on compromise is flawed and fleeting. Happiness for one and all is a dream, and the reality is that to the victor go the spoils. That is why we Garleans will never submit nor surrender. For freedom and for pride, we will remain true to ourselves until the bitter end. That is my hope. It seems there is nothing more to say on the matter. You will remain here while I decide what is to be done with you. Do not be alarmed. No harm will come to you, if you cooperate.
We will not resist. However, as your guests, I ask that we be allowed to speak with the other members of your group.
As you wish. I had no intention of locking you up, as by dawn you would be frozen stiff and you're no good to me dead. You are free to move about the encampment, but there is one condition. Collar them.
What are these?
incentive. You'll be watched at all times. Stray too far or act suspiciously, and we will administer a rather painful shock.
So, shock collar.
Stop. Keep away from that one.
All right.
The champion of Eorzea is not so easily cowed. Even if she allowed herself to be collared, the shock would be no more than an itch. No. If she refuses to obey, we will activate the twins' restraints instead.
You needn't worry about us.
We'll forget we're even wearing them soon enough.
Even now, you still... Why go to such lengths? What is it all for?
The coldest, blackest nights, meager though it may be, we must share the warmth of our fire.
You are a curious one. A far cry from the merciless barbarian others paint you to be. You will be their warden. Take them away.
Yes, sir.
That look of surprise. They probably can't use the Aetheryte. Not responding. I have to remind myself not to touch it even if it starts to itch. I'd rather not set it off by accident. Anyway, enough about that. Let's learn what we can from the refugees. It will take more than a trifle such as this to deter us. A trifle such as this to deter us. Compared to what Garlemald's people have suffered in recent days, these scholars are a minor inconvenience. Personae non gratae, so more than one. As per Lord Quintus's instructions, I'm to supervise you during your time here in Tertium. Before you ask, no, I don't have a key or any other means to remove your collars, nor would I tell you if I did. And if you try anything, you soon wish you hadn't. So, do you truly intend to speak with the others, or was that merely a ruse? We're in no hurry to disobey Lord Quintus, if that's what you mean. Or perhaps you doubt the wisdom of his decision? Do as you will, but remember, I will be watching. If I catch wind of you doing something untoward, trying to trick our people into turning their coats and the like, these shock collars will be the least of your worries, understood? Though we're somewhat compromised, to put it lightly, let's not waste this opportunity. I suggest splitting up and learning what we can of our situation, and above all else, don't use magics of any sort. You, on the other hand, may go wheresoever you wish, even outside the camp. I know full well I couldn't stop you if I tried. But do not forget, if you do anything to endanger us or our interests, Alphinaud and Alizé will pay the price. Octavia. It's you, Desiree Klingor. I served under Lord Gaius in the 14th Legion. I was there on the night the Praetorium fell. You and your adventurers, you killed them. My comrades, my friends, swept them aside in the dust as though they were nothing to you. Maybe I'm too. Just another faceless enemy to be cut down. But it won't be long until our countrymen return. Until you get what you deserve, mark my words. So cold. This young soldier is on the verge of losing consciousness. I can't trade with you or get fixed. I know who you are, the so-called champion of Eorzea. Come to gloat, have you? I'll wipe that smirk off your face. With the blood of our fallen compatriots, I swear I'll... Damn, Torvus Suchers. Of all the times, the worst of a lot within striking distance, I can't even muster the strength. If it went for the thought bleeding us, it'd be the end of you. Virgilia's treachery nearly cost Lord Quintus' life, but we made our escape, took shelter in a mansion, tended to the wounded as we prepared to strike back, and then... Night fell. We gathered around the radio, then the war. The terrible war. The capital was in chaos, but we were spared. If you can call this a mercy. Mind intact but body broken. A soldier in name alone. I would cut you down where you stand if I could. Murderer. The radio is the same model as the one used at Victor's spoils. Perhaps it's what saved the soldiers here from being tampered. So cold and probably hasn't had a proper meal in days. If only we'd brought some food with us. But perhaps I could use a little magic to... No, I mustn't. God, this is so frustrating. Is there aught we may do to ease your woes? Probably just inside? Yeah. Okay. So, who or what have I missed? Caesar. You came with Jullus, didn't you? Well, whatever business brought you here, you'd best keep your hands off the Aetheryte. It's deactivated, but I'd rather you didn't mess about with it. There are others throughout the city, built by Garleans, for Garleans. Could teleport all over in the blink of an eye, provided there was a terminal nearby. These days, however, we use the Aetheryte's power to keep this place lit, though that comes at the cost of its normal function. So they had some kind of Magitech version to teleport between Aetherytes? Like an Aethernet Magitech version? Okay. I was wondering a few episodes ago why the Guardians have Aetherytes when they can't use teleportation magics. That explains it. Did you learn anything of note? When your findings are consistent with my own, their plight is desperate indeed. The sick and injured are at greatest risk. Without warmth and proper nutrition, I fear we will soon perish. I realize there's precious little we can do for them at present, but I cannot bear to see them suffer. Please, will you help me to tend to them? Flavius. Who's there? My eyes, wait. I can't see all that well. Thank you. The numbness has subsided a little. But I know I won't last much longer. You should look to the others who can still fight. Give them my rations. If me going hungry means someone else lives to see another day, so be it. At least I can still serve in that way. So those you met fair no better? I was afraid you would say that. I know we were warned against meddling in their affairs, but you can't leave them like this. Perhaps we might gain permission to have a contingent deliver supplies? Quintus may have made his feelings on the matter quite clear, but even he must recognize they are in no position to refuse help. Maybe Jullus could persuade him? Though we'd need to persuade Jullus first. Well, seen enough. Jullus, the people here have barely enough food and fuel to survive. Have you and the other soldiers been able to procure any more supplies? We've been scavenging provisions from nearby houses, as most families kept some stored away in the event they were snowed in. Still, going out and getting it is dangerous work, and we've a lot of mouths to feed. Fuel is the greater concern, though. We had some ceruleum set aside until it was stolen. We haven't identified the culprit. Could have been other refugees or one of the afflicted for all we know. Either way, we are down to the last dregs. Without the heating they need, those in poor health are only going to get worse instead of better. If it's ceruleum we need, our contingent has secured a ready supply. We can have some sent over. We will not accept your charity. If you can hold on a little longer, the situation is sure to change. Aye, everything will change. One of your comrades mentioned something along those lines. Heard something of it, have you? Well, from what I've seen, there's little you could do to interfere, so there's no harm in telling you. One of our scouts spotted a hooded man issuing instructions to the afflicted, or in the bastard's words, loyal servants of a Telophoroi. Then he made his way inside the Imperial Palace, or what stands in its place. We'd identified the seat of the enemy's power, we realized. Lord Quintus dispatched a messenger to the 10th Legion, saying as much and instructing them to join forces with the provincial legions, to prepare for a combined assault on the Telophoroi. Once our allies arrive, your contingent will be sent running from the hills. Then we shall reclaim the capital by our own hands. And how do you intend to survive in the meantime? At this rate, many of your countrymen will perish long before reinforcement reaches Garlemald. We need help now. Say the word, and we will bring you ceruleum. I will speak with Lord Quintus. So, did he agree to it? No, he will not place Garlemald in the depths of her enemies. I have, however, been ordered to search for ceruleum outside. As you are under my watch, you will come with me. Very well. After all, many hands make light work. You'll lot of more trouble than you're worth. Once we're outside, you will follow my instructions to the letter. We depart shortly. Although that is hardly the solution we had in mind, it will have to suffice for the time being. Without our healing magics, there's little we can do for the people beyond offer words of encouragement. But this way, we'll be able to offer them tangible assistance. Alright, but I end this episode here with, yeah, Jullus, Alphinaud, and Alisaie, and see what we can do to convince them next time where this whole thing leads. Until then, I'm Mace, and don't get lost.